It's a miniature. How cute! Calendar for 1960. Notes and wedding anniversaries according to how many years you've been with your partner. I'm at Christine Julian's mansion, and I had no idea what this place had in store for me. It's incredible how the basement keeps descending further, and it's all completely flooded. This place was abandoned after COVID. She collected butterflies. Look what's inside. COVID certificate. What is this, folks? And they left the keys on the car. So this is a room that's been closed for who knows how long because it's covered up. Let's try to open it. Looks like the car also had batteries. I can't believe it. I went down to the second floor. I had skipped this floor before and had no idea what I might find there. What I see as soon as I get to the second floor. Remember, we started the video on the ground floor, and that's where I cut and started from the top, so you could be surprised by how everything looks. The second floor's already a lot more messed up. But of course, if we start thinking that maybe a different family lived here, because actually we'll see in the letters if there are other names. Here are two names, Furfar and Julian, the couple, because Julian was upstairs and is also down here. So that means, no, it was the same family, and maybe they rented out part of it? I don't know, who knows? Because it was way too big for just one couple, that's for sure. That's kind of creepy. Let's go all the way to the end to see what's here. The text on this card is inspired by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The bathroom's here on the left. The way this is, look, it's about to fall apart. You can see the floor below. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can stick the camera in a bit so you can see. It's packed to the top. I don't think I'm seeing the same thing as you guys, but that was the bathroom, and the floor is super slanted. Oh my gosh, this is dangerous. I'm really not liking this area at all because it's just so slanted. Another kitchen. So you really can say that this space was clearly and definitely divided into several different apartments. There was a kid here because it says Pa and those were the curtains, but this one's empty. And over here, a dining room, but this one is completely empty. So I don't understand how it's possible that the one upstairs has all the antiques and this one... Is this empty? Did the owners clear this one out? Why one and not the other? Strange. This is really strange. Stickers over here. On the doors. This shows that there really were children actually residing within these walls. There really isn't much else to see here. Let's see, maybe another door will open. Who knows? What a huge closet. Let's check it out. If there's something inside, I'm a little scared it might tip over. This is empty. Empty. But it's so beautiful. Check out the carving on this closet. It's incredible how this gets overlooked, but it's gorgeous. Seeing kids' decorations always makes me feel a bit nostalgic. Those stickers and Christmas drawings on the bedroom windows make me imagine the little girl of the house decorating her room with her parents' help, or opening the closet and picking out what clothes she'll wear for those special days. There were so many little girls' dresses around here. This is a skirt. It's for a baby. Everything here is for a baby. Stylish outfits, elegant dresses. Interestingly, the kitchen I mentioned earlier that we just passed is also completely empty. Different families lived here. Even though the letters were only addressed to Julian upstairs, something happened to the family because they couldn't empty out anything at all. But on the other hand, maybe this family left earlier, and, well, this part stayed uninhabited until the last family upstairs passed away under circumstances no one would wish for. Even though there are still a few things left, this is an office. But yeah, everything is really messy and empty. You can tell it was going to be closed up back in the day. Little kids' toys. A toy car comes out. Check this out. The whole platform even lifts up so the car can come out. Oh wow, yeah, it's right here. Look, I took it out so you can see it still works. Well, of course, it's definitely going to need some fresh batteries. Looks like the car also had batteries. There is no way. I honestly cannot believe this. So this must need batteries too. Wait. How do you turn it on? But how do you turn this thing on? Oh, you can tell. Now it's coming down to here, and here it goes in reverse, backing up. I almost forgot to show you this specific palette with the very last paints they used to create one of their most famous works. And check out what's up here. You're gonna freak out. They collected butterflies. The whole place is full of butterfly wings. There's another one over here, just lying around. And they had some specific substances here, maybe to put them in a little glass jar so they'd last much longer, or who knows. They're already completely dried out by now. And right here are the sharp metal pins they would typically use to stick them into their albums. All right, once you're on the main stairs, now it's time to head to the right side, which is the big unknown. Hey, it can't be true that the right side is always better preserved than the left. But seriously, what is up with this house? The left side of this mansion's perfectly preserved. The floor is actually in pretty good shape. It's not covered in clothes or anything. We even have photographs. Look at this huge clock. What's going on here? This is such a different kind of mansion from what I've seen so far, with one side being so much better than the other. Maybe this girl was the one who played here. Look, do you see all these closets filled to the top? Impressive. This room has such beautiful decay, honestly. The floor is really slanted. Be very careful. It's very, very sloped. Here, there's a kneeler for praying. How beautiful, honestly. What a classic and noble room at the same time. And the bathroom is super decayed. Part of the ceiling is fallen down over there. Let me see if I can spot anything. This is in really bad shape. Everything is slanted. I don't know if you can see it, but everything is sloping toward the center. All right then, with that, I think it is finally time to show you exactly the downstairs floor. Time to get out here, but it's so beautiful. This mansion really surprises you because you go into an area that looks totally wrecked and then you find time capsules like these. Amazing. Get ready to see the ground floor. It's also the most decayed, one of the most messed up, but that's where the pianos are. And you could tell this was a truly noble castle back in its day. Take a close look right here at the entrance, with the old wooden coat racks where they would hang their heavy coats. Some of them are even covered with visible patches of fuzzy green mold, as you can clearly see right in front of you. And just look at the wood carving on this entryway shelf. Well, it also has a little table. And check out the detail of the lions holding those rings. Really beautiful, honestly. If you pay attention to the details, this mansion is gorgeous. Over here, just look. It's stacked all the way up. You'd have to climb if you wanted to. And it's all old objects, frames, decorations. You could spend your whole life here just looking at the details and climbing around, but I'm holding the flashlight with one hand and don't have anything to lean on. I also don't think we're gonna see much more than what we've already seen. I'm gonna show you the next piano. This used to be part of a marble table. And now, as I get closer to the piano, we're gonna imagine Julian sitting in front of her piano, just like she probably did often. The notes would fill every corner of that mansion, but there was a last time. Those chords would be the final ones to echo within those walls. In this little corner here, the dining room's set up as if to play bingo. With the cards and the little chips. The old record player over there, even if it's a bit messy, I'm telling you, you have to know how to uncover the story of these places or see the essence in them. Because if you look for it, you'll find it. And honestly, now that I'm on the ground floor, just think about how I started the video saying the other floors wouldn't be worth it, and that just isn't true. Well, that they had kind of taken away some of the essence of the place. I started filming and realized that wasn't true, that all the personality of the people who lived here is still here. We've been able to figure out things, like the upstairs was used by a family who made their living from the market. Maybe it was rented out to them. We've seen children's toys. Now that I'm here on the ground floor, I can say that the place has surprised me so much more than it did at first, when I saw everything in disarray. Yes, it's messy, but it still keeps its personality. You can pick up on so many details, so much information. This fascinates me. I love it. We're continuing our way through other rooms, and here we come across the grand primary dining room of the noble castle. I'm blown away because what I'm seeing right now on the table are all photographs. Let's see if we can do a before and after of this place. But notice that even before it was abandoned, they were already propping up the ceilings because they must have seen that the castle was falling apart. That's right, this is the bathroom area where I saw it was dangerous, the one that was upstairs before, and it has more details like these, which were for putting on the mules. This thing here was placed, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. It's what they put on top of the mule, and people would hold on to this part. Look at the chairs, how run down they are. And check this out. We have a lot of photos here. Julianne, the main character of this story, passed away in 2023 after her husband had died years earlier, and seeing that the house was too big for her, she decided to rent out one of the floors to another family. She also wanted to do her part for the community, helping young people during celebrations and getting involved in community projects so that everyone could have an enjoyable life in this small town. In one of the local newspapers, the neighbors, saddened by her departure, thank her for everything she did for the community. At the beginning of 2023, due to her health condition, she moved into a nursing home, thus closing the doors forever to what was once her home. Later on, out in the garden, we'll see what her husband used to do for a living, but in the meantime, let's finish touring her mansion. Let's finish exploring the place. Another kitchen, just in case the others weren't enough. This is already the third one, and this one is also packed full of stuff. This is what I saw at the beginning when I thought, wow, how little respect people have for these places. They've trashed everything. But as you've seen, even in places like this, you can still find gems, like that room full of antiques that looked like a museum. And this leads down to the basement. Everything is completely flooded. I honestly can't believe what I'm seeing. You can't go down to the basement. I can't believe it. The basement is entirely submerged underwater, and there's even a metal staircase. Incredible. The dangerous thing is that there are wires and everything going into the water, but I mean, they probably don't have electricity, but still, you have to be careful with that. That's insane. I'm gonna go down just to here, okay? Look at this here. This staircase keeps going down, the metal staircase, and you can see the steps going further down. And look, I'm gonna move the camera. I'll lift it over there because in the back, you can't really see it well. I don't know if you can make it out like on top of the shelves, what's left, but this is just wild. It's super deep. In moments like this, it would be awesome to have one of those underwater cameras with a light and be able to explore the basement from here with a little screen and see how everything is flooded. It must be overflowing with stuff. There is no need for me to go all the way over there to open the fridge because I guess, just like everything else, it's probably completely full. It's just impossible to get to it. Now, I want to show you the guard. You know what I'm getting at. Something happened up here, and it's that we haven't gone to the tower. Hey, there's another tower over there, look. All right, mission, get to the other tower. Let's see what's up there, since we saw there was another tower, remember? Tell me where it is. Well, it's gonna be completely impossible because it's way up there and it's entirely closed off. That tall tower is located right over there, isn't it? As you know, we were about to leave, we were gonna take some photos, and we came up here. I was gonna do a little plan, going up to the attic so you could see how full of clothes it was. So pay attention, I want you to see this. Here's the door we saw earlier, where the boots were. Do you see there's a wall here? Of course. And Jesus tells me there's a door here. So this is a room that's been closed off for I don't know how long because it's covered. And we're gonna try. We're gonna have to move some things out, but it's open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what if we put the phone or the camera in first? Can we see anything?
Yeah, it's like,
Maybe it's a closet, but let's see.
can we move this out a bit? Jesus wanted to look with the flashlight, but there wasn't enough space, so he had to move some clothes. And if we put the camera in here now,
The camera. I'll put the flashlight.
you're gonna see it before I do. Whoa. What are you seeing? It looks like a cleaning room.
The little crack I can see through. That's what it looks like, but I'm not sure.
I think it's a cleaning closet, and it's pretty much untouched because no one's managed to get in here. Seriously. Strangely enough, the soaps are still arranged. Maybe someone did come in here once, I don't know. And let's see what's down there. Now, hope the bed doesn't fall on me. So this room has been closed off for a really, really long time. Just look at how it's covered with stuff halfway up. And this goes really deep. Oh my gosh. Well, now it's started to rain, so it's time to head back. Well, no, first let me show you the garden. Look what I just found. What a tiny little book. This is a calendar for the year 1960 with every single one of the dates. And at the very end, it even has a section for personal notes and traditional wedding anniversary gifts, according to exactly how many years you have been together with your partner. It's a miniature. How cute! And there's another one. It even has the artist's signature, who did the drawing. Laburn. It says labor. Labor? A calendar for 1959. It has special dates, and at the very end. It's actually falling apart, what a shame. Notes and wedding anniversaries, according to how many years you've been with your partner. Seriously, how adorable. If you think about it, they just don't make things like this anymore. If you make a calendar, you don't put at the end celebrations for couples based on how long you've been together. I mean, with your partner. 15 years, 20, 25, all the way up to 75. Because honestly, that's really hard nowadays. Oh my gosh, look at how they've left all this. I want you to see what it's like now. All right, another car over there. Are you seeing this? And another one over there. There's another one there. We have to go this way. Now, look. Attention! It's not like they left just 1 or 2 or 3 cars. There are 4 cars here. So it must have been the whole family living here. Because not everyone has 4 cars. And there's another one over there. Let's go this way. Let's see. Look, right over here is the second vehicle. A lot more stuff. This is part of a card. Good Lord. Oh my gosh. But how many cars did they leave here? They were plowing machines, and on top of one of the machines. This looks like it's from a wild boar, or what is this? This jawbone. Yeah, because these tusks. Yep, that jawbone was from a wild boar. And as for the cars, we have seen a total of 4 cars. 2 shortly after entering the property, and 2 more just a moment ago. And after seeing this Volkswagen Golf, I noticed that in another part of the sprawling garden, a small tower was peeking out. And that's when the surprises started, one after another. But wow. What a story. But this house just keeps on surprising us. Well, house, mansion, really. Look. Let me go over there. But seriously, is this even normal? So many abandoned cars? Listen, it was like he had a car junkyard here, because all of this is doors. There are even more vintage car doors, engines, and windshields scattered around over here. Wheels, tons of wheels. And they're in good shape. Brand new, never even used. Check it out. They're in perfect condition. Old, but never driven on. More windshields over here. This tells us that back in the day, this place was active. They used to work in the car scrapping business. That's wild. Next to the shed, I started to follow a little path that, as you can see, was being swallowed up by the plants. Wow. This is the old one. Is it possible this is the old scrap junkyard? That must be the old junkyard. Whoa, this bike is fallen over. Hey, look over there. Look at that old bike just standing perfectly upright. That used to be the site of the old junkyard, right? Check out that wheel. Yeah, look at what the wheel used to be like. It's all like a little forest of hanging vine. I don't know if you can see it. It's dangerous because it's rained. No, there's nothing here. There's another car here. Damn, look at the state it's in. Check this out. You just keep walking and you keep finding these incredible hidden cars like this one around here. Wow, this is absolutely crazy. It's completely under the tree. I mean, the tree has fallen right on top of the car. You can go this way. I think there's a bigger one over there. Seriously, it's amazing. I couldn't believe how many cars were swallowed up by the vegetation. And once again, Jesus lets me know that he's seen more cars on the other side. Really? Where are there more cars? There were some hidden here. You can't see them. They're under the trees. Do you see them? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let's take a look.
There's also another bicycle with a bright light in front. And
with all the rain we've had. How beautiful.
all right then, let's get going. Yeah, wait, what?
But in any case, it was lifted all the way up with the device. No. Yeah. Yes, the device is raised up. The device was left elevated. Look at it. Fly. That's insane! And there are more seats. They left it propped up. So cool. Hey, and what's this here?
But anyway, there's another one over there.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't noticed. You can see the little door over there. Everything is collapsed around here. Let's see. Yeah. You see what I'm telling you? It is completely intact. There is absolutely nothing dented at all. I'm going to show you something that Jesus just told me he saw inside this car, and now I'm totally thrown off. Unless this car belonged to the last family we mentioned who might have lived here or been here, we don't know if they were the owners. None of this really makes much sense. Look what's inside. Look what's inside. A COVID certificate. Born in 1945. We have the first and last name. What is this, folks? How is it possible that this has only been abandoned for 3 years and everything is like this? You can't even get out of here. I was wrong. The garden hadn't just been abandoned for 3 years. Julian's husband worked as a car mechanic, which is why there were so many cars on the property. The satellite view is revealing and shows us that since 2002, all these cars have slowly been swallowed up by nature, which suggests that around that time, the husband must have passed away. But what was Julian's COVID passport doing in one of these cars? I don't know if I'm just getting sentimental and imaginative. Knowing that he wasn't in good health, Julian decided to take one last walk through the place where the husband had spent so many hours working. And he wanted to leave him something in one of his last cars, something he wouldn't need anymore, like this COVID passport, and tell him that he survived a global pandemic. And there are even more cars ahead, super old ones from like 30 years ago. None of this makes any sense. Now, what do you make of this? And you can't get out the back either because look at what's there. And everything's collapsed here too. I mean, this car being here with this certificate just doesn't make any sense at all. Well, while Jesus goes to the right, I'm gonna keep showing you this. This place is just crazy. The garden is full of cars, many of them hidden, like one that's tucked away in there. You can't really see a door, and there's a tractor sticking out here. But check this out. What I saw inside this car is gonna give you goosebumps. Pay attention. A super tiny little car, really old, with its inspection passed in 91. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. 90, and there it says 91. So look at what was inside, besides the fact that plants have already started growing in it. Look. They left the keys in the ignition. Oh my God. Let's take a peek to see what's in here. It's just packed with stuff. No. I had to keep quiet. We heard footsteps on the other side of the garden. We moved forward to an area where Jesus had seen a hole in the wall. Apparently we could get out through it. But one of the most critical moments was approaching. This window looked directly out onto the neighbor's street, and without us knowing, a woman was lurking around the building. I guess she must have heard us and was watching to see if she could catch us. But this time we got lucky. The woman was looking toward the upper part of the window and not where we were. By staying completely still, we didn't attract her attention and she walked right past. It was time to leave, but if you remember, we came to this exit because we heard footsteps on the other side of the garden, so we had to go back the way we came, but this time with all our senses on high alert. We didn't know if someone was looking for us. And we, barely making it out, managed to get away from there and set off on our next journey through time.